Dan Ripley, host commentator, auto update 1658, and here are how those 22 goals from the 3 p.m. games affect the table. Click here for more fixtures, tables and results with our match zone. 1655 full-time, Tottenham Hotspur 5-0 Bournemouth. 1654 full-time, Burnley 1-5 Everton. 1653 goal, Burnley 1-5 Everton. Richarlison slots home following a Gylfi Sigurdsson assist in stoppage time. 1652 full-time, Crystal Palace 0-0 Cardiff City. 1652 full-time, Leicester City 2-1 Manchester City. 1650 full-time, Liverpool 4-0 Newcastle United. 1650 full-time, Manchester United 3-1 Huddersfield Town. 1649 Pep Guardiola looks on as Leicester come from behind to lead. 1646 red card, Fabian Delph, Manchester City. Total implosion for Manchester City is now Fabian Delph, who appears to have taken that Fox's goal personally, sees a straight red for a dangerous-looking challenge on goal scorer Pereira. $16.45 goal, Manchester United 3-1 Huddersfield Town. Consolation for Huddersfield as Steve Mouney nods a free kick across goal from Matthias Jorgensen to convert. $16.42 goal, Liverpool 4-0 Newcastle United. It is one giant party at Anfield right now, and Fabinho has made his impact on it with the Reds' fourth goal 5 minutes from time. As it stands, Tottenham at 6 points behind will be Liverpool's closest title rivals. $16.42 from Sportsmail's Dominic King at Anfield. Word has just reached Anfield of Leicester's second goal. The stadium is the loudest it has been all afternoon. Liverpool, you sense, are going 7 points clear at the top of the table. $16.38 goal, Leicester City 2-1 Manchester City. What a goal, in terms of its brilliance as well as its impact on the title race. What is it with teams hitting goal of the season contenders against Manchester City lately as Ricardo Pereira latches onto a Leroy Sané-headed clearance by smashing home from the edge of the box. $16.37 goal, Liverpool 3-0 Newcastle United. Speaking of points being safe, Xherdan Shaqiri taps home a low Trent Alexander-Arnold cross to ensure the Reds reach the halfway point of the season unbeaten. $16.35 goal, Manchester United 3-0 Huddersfield Town. Points are safe at Old Trafford now with Paul Pogba hitting a sweet strike from 25 yards for his second goal of the game before drawing in the acclaim of the crowd. $16.33 goal, Tottenham Hotspur 5-0 Bournemouth. This Tottenham team are absolutely flying right now, and Son Heung-min is on the score sheet again to make it goal number 11 inside 2 games. $16.31 goal, Burnley 1-4 Everton. It's another set-piece special from Lucas Dean, who with his second free kick today has beaten Joe Hart again. Sean Dyche's team talk, and I assume it was an angry one by the way he stormed off at the break at halftime, is not doing the job it seems. $16.30 Harry Kane added Tottenham's fourth goal at Wembley Stadium. $16.28 Leicester City 1-1 Manchester City. Kevin De Bruyne is still not fully match fit, and he departs for the Premier League champions to be replaced by David Silva. As it stands, they will be 6 points off Liverpool at the top of the table along with Tottenham Hotspur. 16:27 all smiles for Paul Pogba, who doubled Manchester United's lead 16:23 goal. Tottenham Hotspur 4-0 Bournemouth. Wouldn't be a Spurs win without a Harry Kane goal, would it? The 3 points look like staying at Wembley as the striker sweeps home Spurs' 10th goal in just 2 games following a Christian Eriksen pass. (16:21 goal) Manchester United 2-0 Huddersfield Town. The shackles really have been lifted off Paul Pogba now, who has scored his first goal since October by doubling United's lead over Huddersfield. (16:21 from Sportsmail's Dominic King at Anfield. A famous face in the crowd at Anfield as Gary Barlow is in the comfortable seats watching the home team, whom he supports, stroll through this encounter. Alan Shearer is here too, sat next to Sir Kenny Dalglish. A 2-goal advantage has given Liverpool breathing space, and it is now a question of how much they can improve their goal difference. You suspect they will score again before the end. 16:14 from Sportsmail's Joe Bernstein at the King Power Stadium. It's not often you see Manchester City outpressed and out-harried, but Leicester have done it so far today. Raheem Sterling, Leroy Sane and others have looked a bit jaded this afternoon. It'll be a concern for Pep Guardiola with a very busy schedule in the next month. (16:13 Crystal Palace 0-0 Cardiff City. Just 1 game without a goal then, but a fluke nearly gives Crystal Palace the lead as Wilfried Zaha's cross deflects off the post. Wilfried Zaha, left, of Crystal Palace, is challenged by Bruno Equel-Manga of Cardiff City. 16:10 Manchester United 1-1 Huddersfield Town. Huddersfield are not reading the script at Old Trafford. They really should be level. Terence Kongolo darts down the flank before his cutback is turned over by Elias Kachunga. (16:04 goal) Liverpool 2-0 Newcastle United. Paul Dummett's pull of the shirt on Mohamed Salah leads to a Liverpool penalty that is dispatched by the man Reds fans dubbed the Egyptian King. (16:03 from Sportsmail's Mike Keegan at Turf Moor as the second halves get underway again in the Premier League. Sean Dyche, whose side find themselves 3-1 down at the break, marched up the tunnel with his head down and his coat under his arm at the half-time whistle. I am surprised we cannot hear the subsequent rollicking from the press box, which is about 100 meters away from the home dressing room. (15:56) Here are the halftime scores from the Premier League games. Click here for more fixtures, tables and results with our match zone. 15:53 from Sportsmail's Laurie Whitwell at the King Power Stadium. Leicester should be going in ahead. They finished the half with the kind of dynamic chaos that brought them a 4-2 win here 2 seasons ago. City were terribly suspect defensively. Delph and Danilo both at fault for chances that fell to Chowdhury and Maddison. Vardy could also have scored after a mistake by Bernardo Silva. There is much work for City to do to win this one. Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne, right, and Danilo react at the King Power Stadium. 15:50 Tottenham Hotspur 3-0 Bournemouth. The halftime scores are coming, but we will have some lengthy stop-page time at Wembley. with Simon Francis having to be taken off on a stretcher with a serious leg injury for the Cherries with Diego Rico on in his place. .1548 Ben Gibson pulled a goal back for Burnley after Lucas Dean and Gylfi Sigurdsson had extended Everton's 1-0 lead. .1544 Lucas Moura netted Tottenham's third goal. And it has come from a Kyle Walker-Peters assist, who has 3 of them to his name today. .1542 Leicester City 1-1 Manchester City cracking game. It's 1 Manchester City should be now leading 2 as Sergio Aguero somehow turns over a Leroy Sane ball into the box. He's better than that. .1537 goal. Burnley 1-3 Everton. Ben Gibson is making his Premier League debut today and marks it with a goal as he prods home from close range to perhaps give the Clarets life at Turf Moor. .1536 goal. Tottenham Hotspur 3-0 Bournemouth. That's 9 goals in fewer than 3 halves of football for Tottenham now, with Lucas Moura getting in on the act by passing into the corner. .1535 Mark Albrighton headed Leicester level against Manchester City. .1533 from Sportsmail's Ian Ladyman at Old Trafford. Relief at Old Trafford. United had been poor for almost half an hour, but they are ahead now. A Rashford corner to the near post was met by Lindelof, and when Lossell saved, Matic was on hand at the far post to score from close range. Solskjaer songs ringing round an Old Trafford that had hitherto been rather subdued. .1532 Eriksson and Son fired Tottenham into a 2-0 lead over Bournemouth. .1529 goal. Manchester United 1-0 Huddersfield Town. All smiles at Old Trafford for Solskjaer and his Manchester United side as Nemanja Matic taps home following a parry from Jonas Lossell in the Huddersfield goal. .1528 from Sportsmail's Laurie Whitwell at the King Power Stadium. Terrific Leicester response. Chilwell makes amends by starting the move with a tackle on Danilo, and Jamie Vardy does brilliantly to stand up John Stones, then deliver the cross to find Mark Albrighton's run at the far post. Albrighton looked very emotional, pointing to the skies. .1526 from Sportsmail's Dominic King at Anfield. Liverpool well on top at the moment following Dejan Lovren's opener, and it is difficult to see how that is going to change, given Newcastle are playing with 6 men back when the home team attacks. Complacency is going to be Liverpool's biggest opponent in the next 65 minutes. .1523 goal. Tottenham Hotspur 2-0 Bournemouth. Tottenham seem to also be kicking on following that match at Goodison Park, with Son Heung-min doubling their lead at Wembley. .1522 goal. Burnley 0-3 Everton. What is going on with Burnley? Ben Mee concedes a ridiculous spot kick for handball, and from the penalty spot Gylfi Sigurdsson slots home. Capitulation from the home side right now at Turf Moor. .1521 from Sportsmail's Mike Keegan at Turf Moor. Everton are 2-0 up already at shell-shocked Burnley, and their noisy fans are loving life. The double hangover of the Spurs thumping and overindulgence on Christmas Day is a thing of the past. Yerry Mina's header to put them 1-0 up means the Toffees become the first club to score 7,000 English top-flight goals. (15-19) goal. Leicester City 1-1 Manchester City. Jamie Vardy was the star at Chelsea, and he is 2 today as well. Not as the goal scorer, but as the assist maker as he crosses for Mark Albrighton to nod home. (15-19) from Sportsmail's Laurie Whitwell. At the King Power Stadium, slick movement by City, but a lack of awareness from Ben Chilwell, who's a lot deeper than his fellow defenders to play Bernardo Silva onside. (15-16) goal. Tottenham Hotspur 1-0 Bournemouth. Not as good as his strike against Everton, but they all count as Christian Eriksen's deflected strike gives Tottenham the lead following a couple of good missed chances for Bournemouth. (15-16) goal. Leicester City 0-1 Manchester City. Back to normal for City? Remember, they led against Palace 2 as Bernardo Silva controls of Sergio Aguero pass before slotting home. (15-14) from Sportsmail's Ian Ladyman. At Old Trafford, Huddersfield should be ahead here. United made a Horlicks of defending a throw-in from the right, and when the ball dropped to Terence Kongolo, the visiting central defender should have done better than half-volley the ball over the bar from 6 yards. That was a huge moment in a game that United have started slowly. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer instructs Diogo Dalot from the touchline. (15-13) goal. Burnley 0-2 Everton. Everton are flying right now as Lucas Digne's free kick is too much for Joe Hart, who couldn't get a strong enough hand to keep it out. (15-11) goal. Liverpool 1-0 Newcastle. United had to double-check a centre-back scored this, as after Newcastle clear a corner, Dejan Lovren unleashes a screamer to fire the Reds ahead. (15-10) Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken his place in the Old Trafford hot seat. No chances yet at Old Trafford, though, following a rousing reception for the new Manchester United boss. (15-08) Yerry Mina heads Everton in front early on against Burnley. (15-06) Leicester City 0-0 Manchester City. Speaking of sides looking to bounce back, Manchester City also have the bit between their teeth as Raheem Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne combine before the former's cross is cleared by the Foxes' defense. (15-02) goal. Burnley 0-1 Everton. That's how you bounce back from a 6-2 loss. Yerry Mina is given acres of space to head home Bernard cross in just the second minute. Sean Dyche will be fuming at his defense there. Click here for more maps and stats with our excellent Match Zone 1500 hours kickoff. The 3 p.m. Premier League action is underway. Remember to get the most out of our live coverage by following all the action with Sportsmail's excellent Match Zone. It features the latest lineups, formations, match stats, and a handy player comparison tool. In addition, there are heat zones for every player as well as detailed maps of all the goals as they go in. Read more on the above link. 14:58 out come the teams across the 6 Premier League grounds. Here is how the table looks at both ends of the table following the draw at Craven Cottage in what is going to be a very busy afternoon in the Premier League. Click here for more fixtures, tables and results with our match zone. 14:53 full-time, Fulham 1-1 Wolves. Romain Saiss delivers knockout blow on Boxing Day as Claudio Ranieri's side are denied their third Premier League win of the season. Oliver Todd: this was a sickener for Fulham. With 6 minutes to go, they believed substitute Ryan Sessegnon's goal was going to be enough to provide Claudio Ranieri's side their third league win of the season. But then those defensive frailties, after 236 minutes without conceding in the Premier League, came back to haunt them again. Read more here. 14:50 Kevin De Bruyne and Sergio Aguero come into the Manchester City team. Sergio Aguero and Kevin De Bruyne are joined in the starting lineup for Manchester City by Danilo as the trio replace Kyle Walker, Nicolas Otamendi and Gabriel Jesus from the side that suffered a shock 3-2 defeat by Crystal Palace. Leicester City are the only team today unchanged as they go with the side that won 1-0 at Chelsea. Sergio Aguero comes into the Manchester City side for their clash at Leicester City. Jamie Vardy is part of an unchanged Foxes team that won 1-0 at Chelsea. 14:45 Dele Alli drops out as Spurs introduce fresh legs. There are 4 changes for Spurs after their 6-2 win at Everton as Kyle Walker-Peters, Pointboy, Danny Rose and Lucas Moura come in for Kieran Trippier, Ben Davies, Davison Sanchez and Dele Alli. Bournemouth replaced Josh King with Ryan Fraser to bolster their midfield following their 2-0 win over Brighton and Hove Albion. Harry Kane of Tottenham Hotspur leads his team onto the pitch. To warm up, Spurs will be hoping to keep up a title challenge against Bournemouth at Wembley. 14:40 mass changes for Cardiff as they visit Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace make just one change from a stunning 3-2 win at Manchester City as Chiku Kouyaté replaces Jeff Schlupp. Huddersfield though make 5 alterations from their thrashing by Manchester United as Lee Peltier, Joe Bennett, Kadeem Harris, Joe Rawls and Bobby Reid come in for Greg Cunningham, Harry Arter, Josh Murphy, Callum Patterson and Aaron Gunnarsson. Crystal Palace players warm up at Selhurst Park before the game. 14:33 Solskjaer drops Anthony Martial in one of 3 changes. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer introduces fresh legs into the Manchester United team that beat Cardiff City 5-1 as Diogo Dalot, Fred, and Juan Mata come in for Ashley Young, Ander Herrera and Anthony Martial. Huddersfield also make 3 alterations following a 5th straight defeat at the hands of Southampton as Eric Durham, Elias Kachunga and Laurent de Poitre replace Chris Lowe, Leandro Bacuna and Steve Mouney. Paul Pogba starts in the Manchester United side against Huddersfield Town. 14:27 Burnley and Everton make changes following defeats. Burnley were beaten 3-1 at Arsenal and draft in Matthew Lowton, Ben Gibson and Sam Vokes as Phil Bardsley, Kevin Long and Chris Wood drop out. Everton make just 2 alterations following the 6-2 defeat by Tottenham as Yerry Mina and Bernard come in for Tom Davies and Richarlison. Yerry Mina of Everton comes into the side as he gives the thumbs up at Turf Moor. 14:20 Wayne Rooney is also back at Old Trafford. And he seems to be a forgotten man at Manchester United already as he was searched before entering the ground. I know security have a tough job, but come on, it's Wazza. Former Manchester United striker Wayne Rooney was searched upon arrival at his former club 14-17. 3 changes for Jurgen Klopp's unbeaten side income: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jorginho Wijnaldum and Xherdan Shaqiri for James Milner, Fabinho, and Naby Keita from the side that won 2-0 at Wolves. Rafa's Anfield return sees him make 6 changes to the team that drew with Fulham as DeAndre Yedlin, Federico Fernandez, Isaac Hayden, Kennedy, Yoshinori Muto and Joselu come in for Fabian Schär, Javi Manquillo, Kai Sung-yueng, Salomon Rondon and Aez Perez. Liverpool's match program features Jordan Henderson on the front cover. 14:08. Here are the full lineups from the King Power Stadium: Leicester, Schmeichel, Ricardo Pereira, Morgan, Maguire, Chilwell, Chowdhury, Mendy, Ndidi, Albrighton, Vardy, Maddison. Subs: Simpson, Evans, Gray, Ward, Okazaki, Iborra, Ghezzal. Man City: Ederson, Danilo, Stones, Laporte, Delph, De Bruyne, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Sterling, Aguero, Singh. Subs: Walker, Silva, Mahrez, Otamendi, Zinchenko, Foden, Muric. Referee: Mike Dean. World. 14:07. Here are the full lineups from Wembley. Tottenham Hotspur: Loris, Walker-Peters, Alderweireld, Foyt, Rose, Winks, Sissoko, Eriksen, Lucas Moura, Son, Kane. Subs: Trippier, Sanchez, Lamela, Llorente, Gazaniga, Davies, Skip. Bournemouth: Begovic, Francis, Steve Cook, Hake, Daniels, Stanislas, Lerma, Sermon, Fraser, Brooks, Wilson. Subs: Boric, Musa, Ibe, King, Defo, Rico, Mings. Referee: Chris Kavanagh, Lancashire. 14:06. Here are the full lineups from Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace: Guaita, Wan-Bissaka, Tompkins, Sacco, Van Aanholt, MacArthur, Kouyaté, Milivojevic, Meyer, Zaha, Townsend. Subs: Speroni, Ward, Dan, Ayew, Schlapp, Wickham, Puncheon. Cardiff: Etheridge, Peltier, Morrison, Equel Manga, Bennett, Bomba, Harris, Victor Camarasa, Rawls, Hoylett, Reed. Subs: Arter, Josh Murphy, Smithies, Gunnarsson, Cunningham, Mendes Lane, Medine. Referee: Lee Probert, Wiltshire. 14:05. Here are the full lineups from Old Trafford. Man United: The G, Dalot, Lindelof, Jones, Shaw, Fred, Matic, Mata, Pogba, Lingard, Rashford. Subs: Bailey, Andreas Pereira, Young, Ander Herrera, Romero, Delaney, Gomez. Huddersfield: Lossell, Hedergenich, Jorgensen, Schindler, Congolo, Durham, Kachunga, Pritchard, Billing, Mbenza, De Poiter. Subs: Hug, Bacuna, Hammer, Lowe, Quainer, Mouney, Stankovic. Referee: Jonathan Moss, County Durham. 14:03. Here are the full lineups from Turf Moor. Burnley: Hart, Lowton, Gibson, Tarkowski, Meat, Taylor, Westwood, Cork, Hendrick, Barnes, Vokes. Subs: Heaton, Gudmundsson, Wood, Bardsley, Vidra, Long, McNeil. Everton: Pickford, Mina, Keane, Zauma, Coleman, Sigurdsson, Andre Gomez, Dean, Walcott, Bernard, Calvert-Lewin. Subs: Baines, Jagielka, Bay, Nias, Stekelenburg, Davies, Richarlison. Referee: Michael Oliver, Northumberland, 14:02. Here are the full lineups from Anfield. Liverpool: Alisson, Alexander-Arnold, Lovren, Van Dijk, Robertson, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Shaqiri, Firmino, Mane, Salah. Subs: Klein, Fabinho, Keita, Sturridge, Lallana, Mignolet, Origi. Newcastle: Dubravka, Yedlin, Lascelles, Fernandes, Dummett, Ritchie, Hayden, Diam, Kennedy, Muto, Joselu. Subs: Sharp, Murphy, Rondon, Perez, Manquillo, Longstaff, Woodman. Referee: Graham Scott, Oxfordshire. 13:59. It's a big day across the Premier League, of course. Rafa Benitez also returns to Anfield with his Newcastle United side, and team news from there. And all the other 3 p.m. games are on the way next. League leaders Liverpool host Newcastle United at Anfield from 3 p.m. 13:51. Solskjaer is back at Old Trafford. Hopefully he has brought his team with him too, unless he has ran into the same problems as his predecessor and they are stuck on a bus somewhere among the Boxing Day shoppers. (13:43) Solskjaer calls for a return to the Manchester United way in his programme notes for his first home game in charge at Old Trafford. To walk out at Old Trafford means so much to me, and I want to thank you all for making me feel so welcome. Walking into training on that first day last week was quite something. To see all the staff, many of whom I knew, and a few faces to it was something special. We all have a lot of work to do in order to get this club back towards where it should be. We have to remind people what Manchester United is all about. This is club built on entertainment and excitement and giving young players the opportunity to express themselves. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has written his first programme notes as Manchester United boss. 13:28 halftime. Fulham 0-0 Wolverhampton Wanderers. As it happens, one early kickoff on Boxing Day, but if there are any spare Christmas crackers left, they have not been left in West London, as it is goalless at the break between Fulham and Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hopefully it will pick up in the second period, and you can follow all the action from it on this link with Max Winters. (13:21) Here are all of the Premier League's Boxing Day fixtures. And that lone game on the 27th because, you know, TV. Click here for more fixtures, tables and results with our match zone. 13:14. Still a little bit early for arrivals at the Premier League grounds, unless of course you are a Tottenham Hotspur star. Buzzing from their 6-2 win at Everton last time out, they can hardly wait to kick a ball again, as they have already arrived at Wembley ahead of their clash with Bournemouth. Eric Lamela and Hugo Lloris and Paulo Gazzaniga arrived for Tottenham Hotspur. Dele Alli, Kieran Trippier and Kyle Walker-Peters also arrive at Wembley. Christian Eriksen is looking to build on his excellent performance in the win at Everton. Son Heung-min scored twice in Tottenham's 6-2 win at Goodison Park. Spurs boss Mauricio Pochettino will hope to keep up his side's recent good form. 13:05 The baby-faced assassin is back. It's been quite a remarkable transformation in mood in the last week at Manchester United. Jose Mourinho's gone, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, and with a 5-1 win already under his belt at Cardiff City, is poised for a hero's welcome on his return to Old Trafford. The scarves are out already outside the ground for the United favourite as I welcome you to live coverage of this afternoon's 3 p.m. matches in the Premier League. Hit 6,529,867 channel sport page or https://www.dailymail.co.uk/sport/football/article 6,529,867 Manchester United vs Huddersfield Live Boxing Day Premier League scores updates 3 p.m. action. HTML status running green box body midfield order 1-0-0 Manchester United take on Huddersfield on Boxing Day as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer returns to Old Trafford as the club's caretaker manager for the first time. The Red Devils claimed a sensational 5-1 win over Cardiff in the Norwegians' first game at the helm and will be looking to build on that in front of their own fans. Elsewhere at 3 p.m, league leaders Liverpool host Newcastle, Manchester City travel to Leicester and Tottenham host Bournemouth. Follow all the action from the Around the Grounds with Sportsmail's Dan Ripley. If you are viewing this on our mobile app, please click here. If you are using the app, please click here to view today's live blog.